Hi everyone, and thank you for joining us again. Today we're going to be talking about financial literacy. And again, my name is Sonia Siddiqui. I'm from Online Services, bringing you these awesome webinars every week. Joining me today is Sheila Arvina and Tyrone Singh from RBC, and they're going to be talking about the Newcomer Centre and a lot more that we're going to be looking forward to in the webinar. So again, thank you for joining us, and people who are slowly coming on, feel free to stay on. We're going to be doing lots of talking about RBC. So Sheila and Tyrone, do you want to just quickly say hi to everybody?
Hi everyone, good morning.
Hello everyone.
So I'm going to hand it over to Sheila now. So Sheila, the floor is all yours.
Hi, good morning everyone. My name is Sheila Armina and I'm here to join you for this session. I know we're coming from different parts of the world, so a good morning and good evening, good afternoon to everybody because I know we're from different time zones. Before I speak of myself, I would like to introduce to you my community manager, Tyrone Singh. He handles 3 branches in Brampton and he is also a newcomer.
Hello everyone, thank you for joining us today. So it's Tyrone Singh, RBC Community Manager here, and we're pleased to be part of this initiative at ACCES Employment, where we can help newcomers like yourself find a easy, simple way of connecting here with RBC to help with your settlement journey and your plans when you come to Canada. So my colleague here, Sheila, has a number of experience and she's here to assist you. So I'll hand it over to Sheila. And thank you again for letting me join this webinar.
Okay, so before we begin, I'll introduce myself once again. I was a newcomer myself. I came in 2009 from the Philippines and I joined RBC in 2010. So I've been in the country for more than 8 years and in RBC for a little more than 7 years. My role is Assistant Branch Manager for the RBC Newcomer Meeting Place. So let me tell you a little bit of what I do as Assistant Branch Manager. I manage and lead my own team to deliver superior client experience. We help newcomers, so I develop, create, and implement strategies to build connections to further our goal of helping newcomers in their settlement and integration. I also provide mentoring and coaching to my staff to ensure that we deliver a high level of employee capability, competency, and engagement. So I'm responsible for overall operations of our newcomer meeting place. My experience before coming to Canada was that I was also a banker. I used to work for Citibank, NA. I was in wealth management, and my main focus was building relations and growing relationships. And I was also a business owner prior to that. My husband and I operated 2 gas stations. So those were the things that I did prior to coming to here. So you understand, before coming here, I was quite hesitant because I had a good job back home. But then my family and I wanted a better life for my children. So we decided to go. We took that big leap of faith to come here and, start from scratch, start all over. So I think one of the competitive advantage I have in RBC, that's why I was able to get in, aside from my banking background, is I believe I have people skills because of my business experience and my customer experience, customer relationship. I think the most important asset that I have right now is being a newcomer, because I know what it's like to go through in life being a newcomer. I leverage these skills and I'm able to understand people and I'm able to give them relevant advice. Now, I contribute to RBC success by, staying client focused, and I also try to sharpen my skills every day. The banks evolve, clients' needs evolve, so I always try to educate myself so that I can provide, better advice for my clients. Now, I would like to discuss with you some of the challenges that I went through as a newcomer. So first, it was very hard for me to get a job. It was very hard for me to get an interview. A lot of people were saying, go for networking. Networking is the key. But I didn't have a network. I didn't know anybody in the country. So luckily for me, in one of the settlement agencies, I was able to meet someone in an elevator who directed me to ACCES Employment. He said, go to ACCES because I went through ACCES and I believe I'm going to be able to get a job. The same day I got that information, I went to ACCES and I inquired about their banking professionals program, which is the Financial Services Connection. And they told me, you know what, the program is going to start soon. You have to come up with certain requirements. So I wasted no time. I got all the requirements. I believe I needed an academic equivalency. I needed an English literacy test. So I did all those and I was able to get into the program. And that changed my life. In the program, they taught me how to do my resume. They videotaped my interview like a mock interview, so I was able to get valuable feedback. They also showed me how to do my exam for my mutual fund licensing. But I think the most important part of the program is that they were able to set up interviews with the big banks in Canada, and one of it being RBC. So I went through the interview after my 3-week course. I was able to get a job. I was hired the same day, in fact, as an account manager. So here I am in front of you telling my story. After that, I became a financial advisor and now to my current role as assistant branch manager. So moving on to enough about me, moving on to the next slide. I would like to share with you this slide because this is me, a newcomer, helping other newcomers. These are a group of newcomers that I was able to meet a couple of weeks ago when we had an employment seminar. So you'd be surprised that some of them were 2 weeks new to the country, some of them were 2 months new to the country, but some of these individuals right now was able to find a job. And in fact, one of them came back to me yesterday and said that, you know, he's starting his job on Monday. So what best way to help newcomers is by bringing newcomers to share the experience. And this is really what RBC wants to do. That's why they put individuals and put it as a newcomer team to, you know, guide these newcomers coming into the country to make your settlement easier and faster. So now going to the next slide. Okay, we're going to divide the presentation into 2 things. So I'm going to let you know the newcomer meeting place, what we are about, and how we want to help newcomers. And the second one is I'm going to be giving you information and advice about banking in Canada to help you get settled quickly and easily. Now, before I start my presentation, let me give you a brief background about my bank. So if you go to the next slide, for those of you who don't know us, RBC stands for Royal Bank of Canada. We are the largest bank in Canada and one of the largest banks in the world in terms of market capitalization. We operate in 38 different countries. We employ more than 80,000 employees, and we serve more than 60 million clients all across the globe. We've also won several awards, one being the one that I'm really, really proud of is the JD Power for Customer Satisfaction. We've won this 3 consecutive rows in a year, and this is like the Oscars in banking, so I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud also of the organization who values diversity and inclusion. Those are one of our values, and I'm a testament to that. I was a newcomer. They took me in with no Canadian experience, and so they embrace newcomers. And our company really has one goal, and it is really to help clients thrive and help communities to prosper. Now, we go to the next slide. If you can see here, I've been mentioning about the RBC Newcomer Meeting Place. RBC Newcomer Meeting Place is more than just a branch. It is a meeting place for everybody to come together. And we're here to answer your questions, your newcomer questions. So we are, you know, a branch in terms of we do things a regular branch would do. We are able to open account. We are able to, you know, help you with your investments, help you with your loans. But more than that, what makes our space so special is that we provide advice for newcomers. We specialize in a particular niche, which is giving support, giving guidance, giving tools and resources to help newcomers, you know, settle in the country effectively. And we're committed to delivering friendly and personal advice. That's why the RBC put up our team. Our team is composed of 3 individuals who are all newcomers who have been in the country for less than 10 years. We each have our own personal stories to tell. We each have our own journeys to tell, and we would like to share that with you so we can learn together. And when you come to Canada, you guys will have your own journey to tell as well. So we are here to help. We are here to listen. We've gone through the process ourselves. We understand the challenges. We know what you're going through, and we're here to make sure that you thrive and you become successful. So I want you to see a little bit of our space. So we go to the next slide. Okay, so this is one of our conversation areas in our space. We call it our question space because we want people to bring in their questions. This is a place really for us to come together and, talk. Any questions that you may have, we will get you an answer. We will not have the answer right away, but we will definitely find the resource to answer those questions. Some of the questions that we've encountered in the last, 2 months, because we've opened since January 26, are, where do I find a place to stay? Where do I put my children to school? Where do I find the school? How do I find employment? How do I go about, knowing about the transit system? These are just the questions that we want to answer. And really, this is really going beyond banking. We can, answer your financial, but more importantly, your non-financial questions. Some of you may come to the country, you have family and you have friends, and you might be embarrassed to ask them, or some of you may not even have that support system. So let us be your support system. We are here to help. We are here to answer all your questions. So bring them on, especially at the end of the session. If you have questions, please let us know, and I would gladly answer, those questions. So I would want to share with you some of the things that we do with our newcomer meeting place. So on to the next slide. We work with many settlement and nonprofit organizations such as ACCES. And I totally believe in ACCES because the reason I'm standing here in front of you is because I was able to get a job through ACCES. In fact, the meeting place came to life because we work in close collaboration with another settlement organization, the Brampton Multicultural Centre. And in this particular slide, you're going to see 2 of my colleagues give a seminar to elderly seniors who had just come into the country from India. They wanted to know more about banking. They wanted to know how to protect themselves from fraud. And so we gave this session. So these are only one of the things that we do that involve partnering with our community. We hold sessions for the youth. We give advice events. We tell them how to save for their future. We have, again, these senior events. We hold financial literacy sessions. We also give employment seminars. So we work closely with the community, again, to educate our clients and educate newcomers. This session is particularly special because the elderlies, we were surprised that they wanted to know more about online banking and mobile banking. Sometimes, we have this notion that, just because of a certain particular age, we limit, what we tell our clients, but we shouldn't. There was really a genuine appetite in this group, genuine interest to learn about our online banking. All we needed to do was give them the time of day, give them a little bit more time, and give them a little bit more attention, and they were able to get it. And this is really preparing them for what's ahead. So now we go to the next slide. I would just like to give you a summary of the newcomer meeting place. Again, this is a place for everybody to come together, for everybody to ask their questions, especially newcomer questions. So we offer employment workshops. We explain to you the differences between Canada and back home, including banking terms and services and jargons. And we provide you with trusted advice in, buying or renting your first home in Canada. We also provide you with, a lot of tools for starting a business, tools and resources. If you're a business owner, we can help you set up a business as well. And, ultimately, what we want to do is help you achieve your plan in attaining your short-term and long-term goals. After all, you are moving several miles away. you're living the life, the only life probably for some of you you've only known, just to come to Canada. So we want to make sure that you attain these goals and you become successful. So we end there with the RBC Newcomer Meeting Place. I do hope one of these days when you come to Canada, you get a chance. I know not everybody's landing in Ontario, but if you do happen to drop by in Brampton, we are more than willing to help you and meet you. So over to our next slide, we go through our second part of our presentation, which is a big part of you moving to Canada, and that is helping you start your financial life in Canada. I would like to go over some basic banking products with you, so at least you know what to expect when you come here. Perfect. So here, this is a picture of a downtown Toronto. So this is a picture in summer. So this is what you're expecting. You're gonna expect to see. So let's start here. So the very first question that everybody's asking is, how do I establish myself in Canada? So RBC has been helping newcomers for over 145 years. So because of that experience, we have developed banking and credit solutions specifically designed to meet the financial needs of newcomers that you will have today and moving forward in the years to come. We have the RBC Newcomer Advantage program. We offer preferred rates. We offer bank accounts for newcomers, and we give you opportunities to have your first credit card, your first car, your first home in Canada without, requiring credit history. Credit is a way of life in Canada, and it's one thing that I would like to discuss with you further in, the next screens. So again, when you come to Canada, we want to make banking easier for you. Normally, if you want to purchase your first home, if you want to purchase your first car, a credit history is required. But in our newcomer package, we are waiving all that because we know that you're new to the country and you don't have that history. We also offer flexible bank accounts that you can access your money wherever, anywhere in the world, including weekends and holidays, because again, we want to make banking easier for you. We have the Newcomer Advantage program. This program offers free bank accounts, for your first year. There is also an offer for free safety deposit box because, some of you might want to keep your valuables in a safe. You feel safer. So we offer that free for the first 12 months as well. We offer preferred rates for our Forex or foreign transaction conversions, currency conversions. And we also offer preferred rates for our GIC. A GIC is a type of investment. It's called Guaranteed Investment Certificate. In back home, it's normally called just like a term deposit. So we offer preferred rates, meaning better rates for newcomers. And also we have our credits, our call center. So we do offer support when the branches are not open 24 days a week, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And we serve more than 200 languages. And then we offer tools as well as online banking, mobile banking, so that in one touch of a finger, you will be able to access your account. So these are the things that we've come up with for the newcomer to help you bank easily and faster, and to make banking easier for you. So moving on to our next slide, the most basic question: why do we need a bank account? Why not carry cash? And I always tell my clients, safety first. So having a Canadian bank account, when you come here, you're bringing all your belongings, you're bringing all your life savings. And so you wanted a safe, a secure way to access your money. And so the first thing that you should do actually when you come to Canada is open a bank account, open a checking account, talk to an advisor so that you will be able to get your first Canadian bank account. And also some of you, when you come here, the first thing that you're going to do is, get a cell phone. So one of the things that we do is, bill payment, transfer funds, all of this you will have access to a Canadian bank account. Now, aside from opening the bank account, you want to have a healthy balance sheet. So aside from the accounts, you want to build a credit history in Canada. So we move on to the next slide. And now we're going to discuss on how to build a good credit history in Canada. So, okay, so first, before we go to that, let's discuss this because we have this slide in front of us, the checking and the savings account. So checking and savings account are the two very basic bank accounts that we have. So checking, as you might see, it has a little bit of a different spelling. It's CHEQUING. It's really the same thing as the CHECKING. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because I've had several clients ask me about this. So checking account, although different spellings are the same, this is going to be your day-to-day banking account. This is where you're going to deposit your paycheck, pay your bills, withdraw your cash for your everyday spending. And again, this is the account wherein you would want to, open the first bank account that you would open when you're in Canada. The next one is a savings account. I call this account for the future. So whether you are saving, for 1 year, 5 years, 10 years down the road, always have a savings account and put money that you're not using. Because number one, it gives you that discipline of setting aside the funds. And number two, it earns a higher interest rate. So it's moving you closer to the goal, to your short-term and long-term goals. We are also able to set up automatic savings from your checking to your savings account, so you don't have to worry about that. It's like you're paying yourself first, and you're saving day to day without you noticing that. So it's a good strategy to have as well. We also have RBC high interest e-savings. So these are online savings account that gives you higher interest rate, and it's very easy to have access to it online. Okay, so we've discussed about checking, we've discussed about savings and the types of bank accounts. Now, a large part of your life in Canada will revolve around credit. So we go now and discuss, I want to help you build your credit history in Canada. So let's talk about that. A credit history is a reflection of your ability to borrow money. So many different people may need to look at you for credit history. So for example, if you're trying to rent a place, your landlord might ask for credit history. If you are trying to purchase a phone, the phone company might want to see your credit history. And same thing, if you're buying a car, the dealers will check this one. And if you're purchasing a home, the banks will check your credit history. So it is very, very important that you build a good credit history when you are in Canada. So we have a credit bureau, and this keeps track of all the things, all your liabilities and all your credit facilities. And this history gives you a credit score, which lenders look to if they want to give you more lending. So credit histories in other countries, let's say back home, normally are not considered for a Canadian history. So again, from day one when you land, it's very important that you have a healthy, credit history. And how can we do that? As a newcomer, there's so many challenges because you don't have this one. So in order for you to build a credit history, we start off with your first credit card. And so we go to our next slide. Why do you need a Canadian credit card? So there are several good reasons to have and use a Canadian credit card. So using a Canadian credit card is one of the fastest and easiest ways to start building your Canadian credit history. So using a credit card is simply safer and than carrying cash. It is a secure way to pay, and it also acts as a checks and balance because you get a statement at the end of the month and everything is consolidated and you can see all your expenses. And also there are some vendors that would only accept credit card, not cash. For example, if you want to rent a car, they don't accept cash. If you go to a hotel, they would require a credit card. So your very first Canadian credit card is very, very important. And here in RBC, we are able to give you that. when I was a newcomer, I opened my bank account, and this facility was not available. I had to put in $1,000 deposit, lock it in for 2 years, so I would be able to get $1,000 credit card. Nowadays, for newcomers, they simply come to the bank, and we're able to give them a 2,000 credit card with no collateral. And and you can use this as soon as you get the card and start building your Canadian credit history. So I've mentioned that, building credit is very, very important. So that's one piece of the puzzle. Now, moving on to the next slide, we want to build your savings as well. So building your credit and building your savings should go hand in hand. So there are many ways in Canada how you can, build for savings. There are so many different options. So I'm going to mention some of, the most relevant and most crucial that, you might want to consider when you land in Canada. But this is a conversation that you might want to have more in depth when you meet face-to-face with a financial advisor. So a lot of us would come here with our children, and one very good program to save for is for your child's education. We call it RESP, Registered Education Savings Plan. So before coming here, I heard a lot of things saying that, from my friends saying that, education in Canada is different. To a certain extent, that is true. So primary and secondary education is free for most schools in Canada, but you have to start saving for post-secondary education, meaning education after high school, because it's quite expensive. Average cost for university is about 60 to 80,000. So RESP, or Registered Education Savings Plan, is one of the best ways to save for your child's education in Canada. So the government is, acknowledging the fact that you need to save for this. So you're able to get some education savings grant. You're able to put money towards education for your child up to the year, each child up to the year they turn 17 years old. And you're able to get 20% of the first $2,500 annually. So meaning whatever you put in, they put in 20%. And all the growth in this particular plan is tax-free, as long as they stay in the plan. And once you start taking the money out, it's taxed under the student's name. But because they don't work and they don't have income, there is really very, little tax, if not no tax at all. So RESP is one of the things that you would want to discuss when you come here with your banking advisor, financial advisor, because it's really a good way to save for your child's future, for your child's education. And we also have other things to save for, like for retirement. So next slide, we have saving for your retirement. If you go to the next slide, Sonia, there you go. So saving for your retirement, we have different vehicles to save. You'll hear many acronyms, so don't be intimidated. RRSP, TFSA, GICs. So these are all different ways to save for your future, to save for your retirement. RRSP is, it's called Registered Retirement Savings Plan. It's putting money to be used when you retire. So there are different options. You can put it in mutual funds, you can put it in term deposits. But the most important thing is, getting to know your goals, your short-term goals, your long-term goals. We are here to make, your someday true and, make it real for you. So another way to save is TFSA. Tax-free savings account is a very flexible account. So as long as you're 18 years old and you have a SIN number and you are a resident of Canada, you are able to open this account. It's a type of savings account wherein the growth is not taxed. So it's pretty flexible. You can pretty much move money. You can take out money without, tax implications. Everything in Canada is taxed, including money that earns in a bank account. But as long as you have a tax-free, so take advantage of this one, the growth in this particular bank account has no tax implications. So again, a GIC, a lot of people are asking me and about a GIC. GIC is Guaranteed Investment Certificate. It's term deposits, meaning that if you lock in a certain amount for a certain period of time, you get a better interest rate. We have different GICs, Guaranteed Investment. There is a cashable GIC, for short-term investment. There is a more long-term GIC where you can lock it in for 1 to 5 and even 10 years. Okay, so these are just different investment vehicles that will help you when you retire, or help you, maintain a certain lifestyle when you retire in the future. And again, my advice is that when you open your first bank account, establish a relationship with a banking advisor and a financial advisor, and they're going to be able to help you navigate through your journey in Canada by helping you with your financial needs. So these are the things that we do here in RBC. And again, these are, financial aspects of your life in Canada that we are able to help you. So here in RBC, we cover everything, financial and non-financial. If you go on to the next slide, please visit our website, Newcomers to Canada, www.rbc.com/newcomers. And there's a wealth of information about the programs that we have. I wish we had more time, but I'm trying to summarize all the important things. But if you want to see everything in detail, please visit that. And if you're interested in RBC Careers, just like to be employed in RBC, just like myself, please visit jobs.rbc.com/ca. So again, we are here to help. We are here to support, advise, and provide guidance to all clients, especially newcomers. So we come towards the end of our presentation. In our next slide, this is a snapshot of our RBC Newcomer meeting place. So this place actually is in Brampton. We are located at 150 Central Park Drive at the Brampton Civic Center. And I know not all of you are again landing in Ontario, but if you are, please come by, drop by and say hello, and we would be more than willing to help you. If not, we do have RBCs all across Canada. We have more than 1,200 branches, and all of us are, dedicated employees, dedicated to helping newcomers. Okay, and towards the next slide, here's my contact information. This is our address. You can contact me via email as well. And we are very active in social media, so please connect with me and my teammates at LinkedIn. This is something that I could give Sonia after the session. And, it's one way for us to connect faster. Okay, so that's the end of our presentation for today, because we wanted to give more time for the question and answer portion. So thank you once again for allowing us this opportunity to connect with you, to let you know what we are about, what our company is doing, and the ways that we want to help newcomers. And please let me know if you have some questions.
Thank you, Sheila. That was awesome. There was a lot of information and we are getting some questions. So what we'll do is we'll give everybody a few minutes to type in their questions so we can connect with them. And I'm just going to ask you to turn your camera back on, Sheila.
Okay.
Perfect. So everyone, will give you a few moments to type in questions, and I'm going to start off. So Sheila, I'll start throwing questions at you. Judy wants to know if it's possible to open a student account with RBC from Africa before even coming to Canada.
Okay. So unfortunately, as of now, we've stopped that program of opening accounts. We do have specific niche in specific countries. Like for example, for China, we have a student program, but for Africa, as of yet, they are still developing that platform. So to answer your question, unfortunately, from your home country in Africa, we are not able to do that as of yet. But as soon as you land on day one, we are able to give you a student banking account, and it is a free account because it is really designed for students and it is designed to grow with you.
Awesome. Thank you. Olu has a question, wants to know, does RBC employ compliance officers in Calgary? And what are the prospects for a compliance professional in Canada overall?
Compliance, Tyrone, would you want to? Okay, my community manager would like to answer that question.
Sorry, I think it's Ola, right? So yeah, so I think in terms of compliance requirement, definitely across RBC we do have compliance occupational roles, and depending on which field of compliance you're looking at, either if it's in the mutual fund industry or it's more on the risk management side, I think having the experience and the background in that field will definitely give you an opportunity for credibility and opportunity in that field. And the other thing I'll recommend as well, we do on RBC career site, and I know Sonia will post that up. One of Sheila's slide, we have the job career. What I would recommend, if you're planning to immigrate prior to immigrating, it's a good option to go into that link, and you can create a job profile based on the opportunity you are looking for, and you will see the objective and descriptions of the roles that's the requirement. And based on that, some of the transferable skill, obviously in Canada, you may need to do some accreditation, and you can actually see what's required on that job site based on the jobs that's posted.
Awesome, thank you. Saurabh has a question, wants to know, do you also offer checkbooks for the first bank account? Sometimes, it's necessary for when they're looking for housing, landlords ask for checks. So would you be offering that with their first ever bank account in Canada?
Yes, definitely. So we want to experience, for the newcomers, we want them to experience the best bank accounts. So we give you our all-inclusive package, which again includes a checkbook. We do understand that you do need that when for your first home, for the landlords. And there are also other different ways that, you were able to do that. But to answer your question, yes, we are able to give the checkbooks.
Awesome, thank you. And what are the requirements of opening a bank account? Jibril wants to know. So like either it's checking or savings.
So for the requirements of a bank account, we do need an ID, an identification. So it could be your passport, where, from the country that you're coming from, we accept that. A driver's license from Canada, a social insurance card in Canada. We also a credit card in Canada, but we know because being a newcomer, your landing document would suffice as an ID, and your passports would suffice as an ID.
Awesome. All right. So Zaid has a question. Would it be possible to open a bank account in RBC without having to visit the branch?
Okay. For compliance reasons, right? And of course, number one is we want to get to know our clients. So we really encourage people to come into the bank. And as well, to protect our clients, we do want to see a meeting face-to-face. And it's also part of our compliance that, we want to make sure that the person that we're opening a bank account with is in front of us. But we also have another process where we can open online, but we hold the account for you until you go to the branch so that we can validate that you are the right person and that we're giving, the right bank account for you.
I just want to add to that what Sheila mentioned. So, in terms of choice and convenience, great question, because you definitely can go online and open the account of your choice. We do have a simplified process. At the end of the day, you still have to come in so we can validate your information. But I think, it all goes back to what Sheila mentioned early on. If you have questions and you have a concerned about, how do I choose the right account? Sitting in front of a trusted, accredited financial advisor will be able to provide you so you can have that foundation from the onset of setting up the right account, utilizing the right account. We can help you save money, save time, and provide that guidance so you are set up for success at the start.
Awesome, thank you. Jibril had another question. Will he be able to change his US dollar currency, say up to like $50,000 US? Could he convert that at any RBC branch to Canadian?
Yes, we do understand that, when you come into Canada, you are, bringing all your life savings, and there is no amount that, a specific cap when you bring in your funding to Canada, because we do understand. But then, you can go to any branch, and again, you will be receiving a preferred rate because you are newcomers, and we can convert that Canadian currency.
Yeah, and do remember you get a preferred pricing with the newcomer banking package for your conversion rates on the US currency.
Yes.
That sounds awesome. All right. Moses has a question. Wants to know, what is the minimum amount required to open a bank account?
So that's one of the things I enjoy most, telling the clients that in RBC, there is no maintaining balance. There is no maintaining a balance because we would want you to put your savings somewhere else. Other banks, they would require, 5,000 and, everything else is free. That's not true. You're actually paying for the cost. In RBC, we tell you upfront, there is no maintaining balance. Sit with an advisor. We will tell you where to put your extra funds and grow that for you. So again, no maintaining balance. You can maintain it, at the minimum level that you can afford.
That is great to know, especially for newcomers. Olu has a question and wants to know, what is the criteria for getting a credit card which has the $2,000 limit?
So the criteria for that is that you're a newcomer. Under certain classifications, you're either a permanent resident for a family class, provincial nominee, skilled worker, investors class, and you should have landed in the country for less than 12 months and no credit history, meaning you don't have any Canadian, liabilities, any Canadian credit facility. So as long as you have a clean credit history, landed less than 12 months, a permanent resident, we're able to give you that.
Awesome. Lucky has a question. I'm not sure if you're able to answer this, but how can you transfer funds from Cameroon to Canada? Like
Cameroon to Canada? Okay, so there's certain ways to do it depending on the amount. Nowadays, we do wire transfer. Some call it telegraphic transfer. Some call it wire transfer. If it's from country to country, through online, we're able to do it up to 2,500. It's cheaper. But if it's more than that amount, it's still a wire transfer. You can do that. It's going to be from bank to bank. So you go to your bank and then, you have to have all the wiring details like a SWIFT code, a routing number, and we will be able to facilitate that for you. In my particular bank, we don't allow wire transfers if the person is not in front of us for large amounts. But I don't know in Cameroon, because I've done this for my previous bank. It's called like a manually initiated funds transfer. The person, all they need to do is call their bank. The conversations are recorded and they're able to do that. So he has to check with his bank in Cameroon because that is where the funds are coming from, if it's allowed to do a wire transfer face-to-face or through the phone.
Yeah, just to add to what Sheila mentioned here too, if you're planning on coming to Canada and you have a large sum of money that you need to bring, the other option that you have, which will save you some money as well, is getting a bank draft, or it's called a cashier check from your bank, and you can travel with that. But as Sheila mentioned, just check with your bank first before you come, because some banks will have the pre-arrangement when you do come to Canada and open the bank account. You can definitely contact them and provide that bank information, and they can safely wire the money to RBC.
Wow, thank you for the detailed answers. So Lace has a question and wants to know, what's the best way to increase credit score? I mean, like, they're paying weekly or monthly payments to keep them, to maintain them, but how do you increase your credit score?
So increasing your credit score, and you've mentioned it correctly, paying on time is one of the best ways. Starting with your credit card, always make timely payments. Avoid overextending your credit. So let's say you have a 2,000 credit card. Try to use it, to a maximum of 90%. Any dollar going above the 2,000 credit limit, for example, will pull down your credit score. And try not to hit on your credit so much. So when you step into Canada, if you walk into the mall, or let's say you go into the grocery, so many people will offer you a credit card. And every time somebody offers you a credit card, they check your credit bureau. And every time you check your credit bureau, they take away points from your credit score. So it's very important, again, not to overdo it and get so many credit facilities once you land, because you have a very thin credit score, very thin credit bureau. So just to summarize, one is pay on time. Number two, don't overextend your credit, meaning don't go over your credit limit. And be smart with your credit facilities. Don't be a credit seeker and have so many credit facilities available to you.
And then, again, what Sheila mentioned, I'll echo that point again. Myself, I've been in Canada for 18 years, and I've been with RBC for 17 years. I remember my first credit card in Canada was with RBC, and buying my first home in Canada within 5 years, I only had one credit card, because that was the right credit card to meet my needs and my demand. And exactly what Sheila mentioned here, paying it on time, and my score was immaculate, because it's not the amount of credit card you have, it's just using a disciplined approach and finding the right credit card that will reward you back. And here at RBC, with Sheila, they will be able to assist you to pick and choose the right credit card. We also have a credit score update tool on our online banking that you have access to as well, which would not even hurt or touch your credit check. It would just give you an update how well you're progressing towards your credit score. So very timely pieces on the online banking that RBC has to give you update check on your credit as well.
Thank you. I know that you spoke about African student accounts, but Gibson here has a question. He wants to know if you can open a bank account before coming to Canada from India. Sorry, yeah. So is it just for Africa, or could they do it from anywhere else as well? Opening an account before coming to Canada.
So just to answer the pre-arrival account opening, so the country that we have it right now, that's actively, it's Hong Kong.
Yeah.
We do have that facility. There is a process right now that RBC is trying to expand this globally, and I know Asia is one of the market that we're looking at the moment. Unfortunately, at this point in time, we don't have that pre-arrival facility set up in India. Again, I know, coming to a new country, when you first land, we are one of the largest network of RBC branches across Canada. We have the largest employee base as well as network ATMs branches. So we have conveniently located branches that you can go into and get those accounts open right away, or even while in Canada, you can actually get them online, set up account open, but not pre-arrival from India.
Yeah.
Not pre-arrival. Okay. Sounds good. And Varun has a question. He's moving to Brampton by the end of the month and wants to open a bank account with RBC right away. And he's carrying the van draft in Canadian dollars. He wants to know what's the average time it would take for his account to be activated.
As soon as he comes here, as soon as he opens the account, the account will be up and running in no time. Right? We give you your first client card right away on the spot. We process your application right away for credit card, and the credit card you would receive in about 5 to 10 days. But the client card, you get a temporary one right away. So the account is up and running the very first day that you come and open the account.
And Varun, what we can do for Varun as well is he can connect right away with Sheila.
Exactly.
We can set him up the moment he arrives, connect him, get him set up. Any questions, Sheila's here by email, by LinkedIn, or by a phone call.
Oh my gosh, this is awesome service.
Yes.
Yeah, no, this is amazing. Bassam has a question and wants to know, do you have any special consideration loans or credit cards for refugees?
Yes, we do that as well. So we are, geared not only, helping, those who have like permanent resident status, but we do have a refugee program wherein we can give $500 credit cards to refugees. So it's something that you want to discuss with us. So come see us and we will be able to provide you with that.
And it's always better to get that one-on-one interaction with someone, an RBC representative, so that you can. It's hard to, I guess, answer these questions because it's important for them to come into the bank and then have a conversation and see where that goes as well.
You're very right, Sonia, because even though they're all newcomers and some of them, are all refugees, each of our situation is different. So you want to get that tailored personal advice that is really right for you. So you can only get that by having a one-on-one conversation with one of the advisors.
Awesome. Amolga has a very good question. First of all, are there any openings for sales professionals in RBC? And if there are, and I'm sure there is, do they need any professional certification to sell financial products like loans, credit cards, etc.?
Yeah, RBC is a big institution. Like I've mentioned, we employ more than 80,000 employees, and every day we are constantly trying to look for good people, good talent. And with the link a while ago that is going to our RBC Careers, you would see again, like Tyrone said, the job description. And there's the RBC is such a big company, and there's so many avenues that you can go to: retail banking, you can go to insurance, you can go to credit, and depending on the department that you would want to go into, there are specific certifications that you need to get. For my role, I needed to get a mutual fund licensing exam. It's called Investment Funds Canada. And again, like what I've told you, to move in further and to go into another role, I have yet to take another exam. So it's a continuous process of educating yourself. So again, you do have to take those certifications. And as long as you're willing to study, you'll be able to make it and able to do it.
And these exams that you're talking about, Sheila, these certifications, does RBC help provide any of these, or do you help with the education?
Yes, with RBC, they want their employees to grow, so they support with the cost. But this particular exam is, outside RBC. It's securities, CSI, securities.
So it's
Securities,
CSI. So what Sheila mentioned, if Varun, I think if you're a successful candidate and join RBC, and you need to increase or enhance your accreditation, the bank does support and pay for those accreditation for various roles and various fields, as Sheila mentioned. The other thing I'll mention to Varun, the beyond banking that Sheila and her team does here at RBC Newcomer Meeting Place, we sit with candidates as well, look at your resumes if you have a banking professional background, and Sheila and her team will help coach and help set up you for success with some of the things you need to tweak on your resume, along with BMC, which are Brampton Multicultural Centre, as well as give you tips in terms of what profession you should be looking at from a banking field as well.
Thank you. We're getting a lot of questions about if these services are also available in other provinces, or is it just in Brampton, the newcomer section?
The newcomer. Okay, so in RBC, in general, all the branches, we have one mission: is really to help our clients thrive and help communities to prosper. And we all have that one mindset to help newcomers. But this particular space just opened in January 26th. We are on our going on our third month. It's the first one of its kind Newcomer Centre. So Brampton is very fortunate, to have this location. But eventually, the plan is that we move to different areas and hopefully different provinces as well.
All right, thank you. All right, so there's a lot of questions regarding if they can open an account before coming to Canada. So I guess we're gonna skip those. We answered those.
Yeah, I think there must be like some quite of confusion because it was up and running before. So a lot of clients might be thinking of that. But what they realized was when they come here, they were experiencing, you know, a little bit of a technical problem. So to give a better client experience, we put that on hold and we're trying to, you know, fix that part, that aspect. And eventually, hopefully, it's going to be up and running once again.
All right, and just one of the last few questions, I guess. Are there fees targeted to the checking or savings accounts?
There are various fees because we do have different types of checking accounts. Savings accounts are free. Checking account, the transactional account, there is a fee associated. But again, depending on the type of the account that you have, depending on the type of transactions that you're doing, we will try to see what account is best for you. So for the newcomers, we don't want you to think about fees. So we took that portion away so that you can experience the best banking. So we gave you the all-inclusive accounts, and it's normally free for a year.
Awesome. Okay, that's great to know. We've answered quite a lot of questions, and I see that there were a lot of questions that were unanswered as well. But again, if you do have any questions, I think we have right here. So there's information on the website that you can connect with and see if your answers are provided over there. Best thing to do is either call RBC or walk into any one of their locations, and you can see that everyone is just as nice as Sheila and Tyrone, and they'll be more than be happy to help you out. So if you are interested in applying to jobs at RBC, here's a link, you can check it out. And again, if you have any more information that you want to ask for, check it out, especially for newcomers. They've got lots of information there to help you. And again, we have Sheila's information as well over here. So if you do want to come say hi to Sheila and, you know, tell her that I watch you online and I can't wait to open my bank account, here this is where to find her. It's in Brampton, and it's a very neat area. And, you know, I'm really looking forward to coming and checking out your facility as well. Again, thank you both very much. If you have any questions related to just general webinars, you can contact online services at accessemployment.ca. We're actually going to be doing an Ask Me Anything about your job search component next month sometime. So if you have any questions about your job search related to resumes, interviews, networking, employer insight, whatever you need to know about your job search, you can ask me anything. So email us at onlineservices@accessemployment.ca, and we will answer all your questions as part of our special webinar that we're doing next month in May. And check us out online if you have any questions, if you want to see, you know, how to build a better resume, or if you feel like you've missed any one of the RBC webinars, they're posted on eAccess. So if you go to our website, go to eAccess, there's going to be a tab for RBC webinars, and you can check out their previous webinars as well. And for our upcoming webinar, it is next week, April 25th, and it is by Robert Half, and they're going to be talking about, it's a part 2, so they're going to be talking about how to avoid mistakes and write the perfect resume and cover letter. So I'm really looking forward to that as well. And for people who are interested in taking our pre-arrival services, so if you want to take one of our programs that will help you get to the next level when you get here, we have sector-specific training before you even come to Canada. So if you have your PR, you can email cec@accessemployment.ca, and someone will be able to let you know if you're eligible to take the program or not. And again, thank you everybody for participating. Please stay in touch with us. We are very active on our social media on Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook. So all of our new events, whether they're online or in-house, they're all posted on our social media. And we do have a survey at the end. Please fill it out so that we can bring better webinars to you as well. And RBC would like to hear from you as well. So thank you again, everyone. Thank you, Sheila and Tyrone. Again, if we have any questions, I will send them your way because there were a lot of unanswered questions. And I'm really excited to let you know that we will be doing more financial literacy workshops probably once a month, so that you can, if you feel like you've missed anything today, you can join in again, and, you know, your answers will probably be answered next time. But yeah, so we'll be doing these on a monthly basis. So don't worry if you missed anything today, just join in next month and then we'll be happy to answer your questions. Again, thank you, Sheila and Tyrone. If you want to say anything before we leave.
Yes, thank you very much for this opportunity to, speak to everyone. And again, we would love to meet you. So if you happen to be in Brampton, please drop by the RBC Newcomer meeting place. And we wish you all the best in your newcomer journey.
Yeah, just thank you again, everyone, for joining in, and we wish you success with your journey, and we're here to help you play a small part in that successful journey.
Awesome. Thank you, Team RBC, and goodbye, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.